My name is Kelly, and my life was forever changed when my husband Jerry abandoned me with his ailing parents and embarked on a 2-year vacation. Little did I know that he would show up only to claim his inheritance. But as fate would have it, I had a trick up my sleeve, and what unfolded was a satisfying and juicy revenge. Jerry and I were once deeply in love, or so I thought. Our story began with us meeting through a dating app. My ex-husband had passed away after a long battle with cancer, and after 5 years of grieving, my friends convinced me to start dating again. Jerry and I had texted for a long time before finally deciding to meet up for a date. One date led to another and then to another until 2 years later Jerry proposed to me. Jerry made sure to involve my daughter Kimmy in everything. Kimmy was only 5 years old when her biological father passed away. However, Kimmy and Jerry took a great liking to each other and were practically inseparable. It was truly a dream come true for me. Together, Jerry and I dreamed bigger dreams, dreams of a blissful life together, raising our daughter Kimmy, owning a house, vacationing to other countries, etc. However, 6 years into our marriage, both of his parents, Bertha and Larry, were afflicted by severe illnesses, requiring constant attention and medical care. Jerry asked me if it would be possible for us to take care of them together. Babe, I kind of have a big request to make. What is it, Jer? So, you know how my parents are currently not in the best of health, right? Yeah, they both have a lot going on. I feel so bad for them. I wish I could help them out. Yeah, about that. I was thinking about it, and they're my parents, Kelly. I can't abandon them. They need a lot of care right now, and neither of them can take care of themselves, let alone each other. I know, darling. That's why we decided on putting them in an old age home. They'll be well taken care of. If your ask is going to be about the money required, don't worry, we'll pitch to the best of our ability. No, Kelly, it's not about that. I was thinking of something else. What are you trying to say, Jer? Just spit it out. I was actually going to ask if it would be possible to have my parents move in and we take care of them. Oh, Jer, I don't know. I'm already swamped with work and raising Kimmy. I really want to, but... Oh, no, darling, you won't be doing it all alone. They're my parents, so I will definitely be doing just the same amount of work as you, if not more. I promise. Oh, what the hell. Okay, I love Bertha and Larry. Plus, I think Kimmy would love to live with her grandparents. Thanks a lot, Kelly. I promise I won't let you down. You better not. Having taken care of my ex-husband for quite a while, I had some experience being a caregiver. Bertha suffered from a debilitating autoimmune disease which left her bedridden and reliant on specialized treatments. Larry, on the other hand, battled a chronic heart condition that required constant monitoring and medication adjustments. Their fragile health became the center of our lives, as their deteriorating conditions necessitated round-the-clock care. At first, Jerry seemed committed to the cause. We worked together tirelessly, juggling work, parenting, and the care of his parents. I'll admit it wasn't easy. Countless sleepless nights, hospital visits, and emotional stress became our new reality. But we soldiered on, driven by the love we had for Bertha and Larry and the desire to provide them with the care they deserved. For a while, we managed to find strength in each other, but as the months wore on, a troubling shift began to occur. Jerry's once unwavering commitment to his parents started to wane. It started with missed doctor's appointments, excuses of being too busy, and a growing disinterest in their well-being. I could see the strain that this put on Bertha and Larry, and I felt my heart breaking for them. As the months turned into years, Jerry's withdrawal from his responsibilities became more apparent. He began spending more time away, claiming business trips and other obligations that conveniently kept him from being present. The burden fell heavily on my shoulders as I tried to balance work, parenting, and the increasing needs of his parents. Amid the chaos, I could see the toll it took on Bertha and Larry. Their faces mirrored a sense of disappointment as the son they had raised seemed to be slipping away. Their health continued to deteriorate and their need for care only intensified. Yet Jerry seemed more preoccupied with his own pursuits, detached from the pain and suffering that surrounded him. 2 years into being his parents' caregivers, Jerry told us that he would be away on another business trip for 2 weeks. A huge argument between Jerry and Kimmy and I ensued. Jerry, how can you just leave us like this? Your parents need us and you're walking out the door without a care in the world? Oh, here we go again. Always making it seem like I'm the bad guy. I have important work to attend to. Kelly, it's not like I'm abandoning them forever. Dad, you can't just keep leaving us like this. Grandma and Grandpa need us and you're never here. It's not fair. You think I don't know that? Do you think I enjoy being away? I have responsibilities too, you know. I can't always drop everything just because they're sick. Responsibilities? What responsibilities, Jerry? You've been absent for months. Your parents are suffering. And you're nowhere to be found. It's like you don't even care anymore. Don't you dare accuse me of not caring. I'm doing the best I can to balance everything. I have a career to maintain. And it's not easy juggling it all. It's not about juggling, Dad. It's about being there for your own family. We need you. And your parents need you. But you're always putting yourself first. That's not fair, Kimmy. I'm doing this for all of us to provide a better life. Can't you see that? A better life? Is that what you call leaving your parents when they need us the most? You're abandoning them, Jerry, and it's tearing our family apart. Maybe if you took better care of them, I wouldn't have to constantly be the one to step in. You're always making me out to be the villain, but you're not perfect either. That's not true, Dad. Mom has been taking care of Grandma and Grandpa all by herself. She's been doing everything she can to make sure they're comfortable. Kimmy's right, Jerry. I've been doing everything in my power to care for your parents. I've sacrificed so much for them, and I thought you would be by my side. Well, maybe I've had enough of sacrificing. Maybe I'm tired of putting their needs before my own. Maybe it's time for you to figure out how to handle things on your own. Is that what you're saying, Jerry? That you're done with us? Done with your own parents? I never thought I would hear those words from you. Maybe it's time for a reality check, Kelly. This isn't the life I signed up for. I need some space to figure things out. Jerry stormed off into our bedroom and began packing his things. Without saying another word, he left us for his business trip. Looking back, Kimmy and I always felt guilty for being the reason that Jerry left us on that fateful night. We spent countless nights crying to each other about it. We tried our hardest to get back in contact with him, but to no avail. The 2 weeks eventually became 2 months. Bertha and Larry took their son's departure even harder. Their health only worsened as time passed, making it even more difficult for me. I was left to shoulder the immense burden of caregiving alone. The days blended into a blur of hospital visits, medication schedules, and endless household chores. Eventually, as months turned to a year, I decided to stop grieving about the loss of yet another husband and entirely devoted my time and energy to taking care of my in-laws and raising my daughter. It got harder trying to balance it all alone. I often went nights without any sleep or rest. But despite the overwhelming weight on my shoulders, I refused to let any bitterness consume me. My love for Bertha and Larry and my dedication to ensuring their comfort drove me forward. With Jerry's absence, I found solace in my role as the pillar of strength for Bertha, Larry, and Kimmy. Days turned into nights and nights into months. I became well-versed in administering medications, handling medical equipment, and organizing a meticulous care routine. Bertha and Larry began to rely on me, not just as a daughter-in-law, but as their primary caregiver. While it was an exhausting journey, the bond between us grew stronger as they recognized my unwavering commitment to their care. Through it all, Kimmy stood by my side. Though she was young, her empathy and maturity shone through. She became a pillar of support for me, offering a listening ear and a loving presence during the darkest times. Kimmy's heart broke for her grandparents, and she formed a deep bond with them, understanding the weight of their illnesses and the significance of the love and care they needed. The four of us together created a haven of love and support amidst the chaos. After 2 years of relentless dedication and sacrifice, Jerry reappeared in our lives, driven by greed I never thought possible. He had his eyes set on the inheritance left behind by his parents, but I held the key to his downfall. You see, during his absence, Bertha and Larry had asked me to recognize their financial and legal affairs, ensuring that their inheritance would be protected from any potential harm. They also asked that all estates that were meant to be given to Jerry be transferred to Kimmy and me. Touched by Bertha and Larry's trust and undying love and support for me, I did everything they asked me to and more. I felt appreciated for all the hours I spent taking care of them. While getting all their documents rearranged, I decided to contact the private investigator I had hired to keep watch on my husband, Jerry. As naive as it sounds, I did not want to necessarily leave Jerry nothing. I completely understood how the pressure of taking care of his aged parents could have gotten to him. In no way would I have negotiated a significant inheritance for him, just a little as an obligation. However, that thought process got quickly shut down when my private investigator revealed to me the actions of my husband during the period that he abandoned us. Let me give you a little backstory to my hiring of a private investigator. I had become suspicious of Jerry's motives long before he vanished from our lives. Something about his sudden disinterest in his parents' well-being and his incessant excuses didn't sit right with me. With that gnawing intuition, I took it upon myself to investigate further. I delved into the financial records and legal documents and found multiple transactions to an unknown account. When I confronted Jerry about this, we got into one of the biggest arguments in our relationship. Jerry, we need to talk. I've been looking into the financial records and I found some transactions to an unknown number. Can you explain what this is all about? Look, it's none of your business. Why are you snooping around and digging into things that don't concern you? Jerry, these transactions directly affect your parents and their well-being. I deserve to know what's going on. Are you hiding something from me? I told you it's nothing. Stop interrogating me and invading my privacy. Can't you just trust me for once? Trust you? Jerry, your parents need us, and if you're involved in something that could potentially harm them, I have every right to know. This affects our entire family. You're blowing this up out of proportion, Kelly. It's a misunderstanding, and you're always jumping to conclusions. I can't take this anymore. Jerry, don't you see? Your sudden disinterest in your parents, the mysterious transactions. Something isn't right. We're a team, and we need to address this together. Address what, Kelly? There's nothing to address. I'm tired of your accusations and constant meddling. Maybe I should just leave if you can't trust me. Leave? Are you serious, Jerry? You're willing to abandon your parents and your family because you refuse to answer a simple question? Is that the kind of person you've become? You're pushing me to my limit, Kelly. I can't handle your constant suspicion and lack of faith in me. If you can't accept that, then maybe we're better off apart. Tired of Jerry's lies and lack of involvement in his parents' care, I decided to hire a private investigator. The reports I got seemed mundane and nothing out of the ordinary, which made me heavily regret my decision. The guilt of my actions, along with the stress of taking care of my in-laws and raising my daughter, made me let go of the PIs, however. After Jerry left us without a word, I rehired my PI and had him silently collect data until I asked for it. I had almost forgotten about it until Bertha and Larry brought up their paperwork. Now, armed with new information, I vowed to myself that if Jerry were to show up again, I would make his life a living hell. So when Jerry reappeared in our lives, I was prepared to fulfill my promise to myself. He walked back into our houses as if he hadn't abandoned us for the past 2 years. Without so much as a look at his parents and a glance at Kimmy, he made a beeline straight to me. Kelly, it's about time we had a serious conversation. I'm back now, and I expect my rightful share of the inheritance from my parents. Are you kidding me, Jerry? After all this, that's the first thing you have to say? No concern for your parents, no acknowledgement of your absence? Just your share of the inheritance? Look, I don't have time for sentimentalities. I left to pursue my interests, and now I'm back to claim what's rightfully mine. You should be grateful I even came back. Grateful? Grateful for what, Jerry? For abandoning your parents where they needed us the most? For leaving me to shoulder the entire burden on my own? You have some nerve. Oh, please. You act like taking care of them was some kind of burden. You've always enjoyed playing the martyr, Kelly. But let's not forget who worked hard to earn this inheritance. Worked hard? Is that what you call it? Leaving your parents to suffer while you galvanated off on your own vacation? They needed us, Jerry. They needed their son, and you turned your back to them. They had you, didn't they? You seemed to have it all under control. I knew you'd take care of things. Besides, they're not my responsibility alone. I have a life to live. Your life? What about our life, Jerry? What about the vows we took, the promises we made? This is our family, our parents, and you've betrayed us in the worst possible way. Betrayed? Please spare me the theatrics. I'm simply asserting my rights. I'll get my share, whether you like it or not, and don't even think about trying to stop me. Jerry, you've shown your true colors. Your arrogance and indifference have left a lasting mark on your family. But mark my words, I won't let you take advantage of your parents. They deserve better. Good luck with that, Kelly. You're in for a rude awakening if you think you can stand in my way. Just remember, I'll always get what's rightfully mine. I wanted to do nothing more than rip his face off, but I knew that his smirk would soon be wiped off his face when I handed him his parents' wills. True to my prediction, Jerry's smile quickly turned upside down as his eyes scanned the documents for his name. Upon discovering that his name was omitted from his parents' wills, a storm of anger and resentment consumed Jerry. Blinded by his pride and desperation, he vowed to exact revenge on me, accusing me of undue influence in his vulnerable parents. I never revealed the huge ace I had up my sleeve, the reason for his abandonment. With a calm voice, I asked him to leave our home, and so he stormed out. It wasn't shocking that Jerry decided to sue me in court. It was a move that was expected from a man who was trying desperately to regain control of a situation that had gotten out of his control and mend his shattered ego. He made false accusations, but they were meant to damage my reputation and portray himself as the victim in a twisted story. Therefore, the trial, Jerry's words, were dripping with poisonous accusations. To back up his victimhood narrative, he distorted the facts and painted a false picture. His dramatic performance was intended to sway the judge and jury by winning over their compassion while skewing their verdict. The truth, however, could not be hidden within the walls of the courtroom. The evidence I presented demonstrated my unwavering commitment to Bertha and Larry's well-being. Witness testimony, medical records, and financial records reveal the countless hours spent caring for their needs, ensuring their comfort, protecting their ears. The tide began to turn as the weight of my commitment and sincerity became apparent. Jerry's lies brought to unravel, revealing the hollows of his claims. Even baseless accusation crumbled under scrutiny, leaving him grasping at straws. However, I wasn't done yet. I wasn't satisfied with winning the case like this. I wanted Jerry to suffer. When the time came for me to take a stand and speak the truth, I decided to reveal what I had learned through my private investigator. With a calm yet resolute voice, I recounted the events that had unfolded during his 2-year vacation. I revealed the countless hours I spent caring for his ailing parents, the sleepless nights spent by the side, and the sacrifices I had made to ensure their well-being. I painted a vivid picture of his negligence, highlighting his abuse during their most vulnerable moments. And then I dropped the bombshell. I revealed the hidden truth behind his departure. It wasn't just about a vacation or work obligations. No, Jerry had left us for another woman. He had abandoned his family, shattering our lives with his selfish desires. Jerry's lawyer tried to argue that what I was saying was made up. However, my lawyer presented the court with all the evidence. Text messages, emails, photos, credit cards, you name it. I had it all. Jerry was all dumbfounded, not knowing how to react now that his entire truth was laid bare for the world to see. Even though this would have been enough of a blow for Jerry, I didn't stop. My lawyer had called to the witness stand a surprise witness. It was Jerry's affair partner. All the color in Jerry's face drained. His lawyer was shaking his head in disappointment while every so often glaring at Jerry. My best guess would be that Jerry hadn't told his lawyer the entire truth. Upon finding out about Jerry's affair partner, I decided to do a little research into her. It turned out that she was his ex, the woman he dated right before me. When Jerry came knocking at our doors, I decided to contact her and check if she knew anything about Jerry's life with us. Together, we decided that she would not change her behavior towards Jerry until the trial to avoid raising any suspicion. She agreed to take the stand for me. While on the stand, she revealed how Jerry had begun texting her 3 years ago. He had told her that he missed her and that his life without her had been miserable. They reconnected and started dating. 1 year later, he told her his job was transferring him to her city, and so she offered him a place to stay. He had never once mentioned the fact that he was married or that he abandoned his ailing parents. He had proposed to her a month ago and told her that his parents had left him a large inheritance, but he needed to go back to his hometown to claim it. Allie made eye contact with Jerry and threw her ring in his direction and asked him to never contact her again. The revelation shook the room. Bertha and Larry, who were already frail due to their illnesses, were overcome with a mixture of disappointment and sorrow. Jerry had been raised to be more than this, but he had proved to be nothing more than a heartless opportunist. Their eyes welled up with tears as they realized their own son had abandoned them. Kimmy's innocence was shattering when she discovered her father had abandoned his family for another woman. Her eyes were filled with rage, but she remained still. Jerry tried to defend himself now that he was exposed, but his words fell on deaf ears. The evidence was too overwhelming. He had gambled away the love and trust of his family, and now he would face the consequences. The judge weighed the facts before delivering a verdict that would seal Jerry's fate. The judge ruled in favor of Bertha and Larry, recognizing the years of care and dedication I had poured into their lives. Jerry's inheritance, once thought to be his birthright, was rightfully denied. The sweet taste of victory washed over me as I realized that I had not only protected my in-laws' legacy, but also exposed Jerry for the fraud he was. It was a fight for justice and the protection of the ones I loved. Jerry had no choice but to face the reality of his greed and deceit. The taste of victory was bittersweet, knowing that our lives would forever be shaped by this tumultuous chapter. So here I am, sharing my tale with you to remind you that even in the face of heartbreak, betrayal, and seemingly insurmountable odds, justice can prevail. Revenge can be a dish best served cold while being backed up by love and unconditional support.